Charlie Munger never talked about financial freedom as a fantasy or a motivational slogan. He described it as a very practical condition, the moment when money stops being a constant source of pressure and you no longer make decisions just to survive financially. In his view, financial freedom does not mean quitting work. It means not being forced to work, and that distinction completely changes how you think about time, risk, and investing. When people hear 3 years, they often assume it's an unrealistic promise. But Munger would never claim that 3 years are enough to become rich. What he would say is that 3 years can be enough to change your financial trajectory. And that is something most people underestimate. Financial freedom is not built through a single great investment, but through a series of rational decisions applied consistently over a meaningful period of time. According to Munger, the hardest phase is not growing wealth, but building the initial base. The early years feel slow and frustrating, and that is exactly when most people give up or start chasing shortcuts. He believed that when capital is small, the real multiplier is not the market, but behavior. Focusing obsessively on returns too early is a mistake, because the priority should be increasing the amount of capital you are able to invest. That is why the first real step toward financial freedom is improving your earning power. Munger repeatedly emphasized that investing in your own skills and capabilities produces returns far greater than any portfolio optimization in the early stages. Trying to squeeze extra performance out of a small portfolio is far less effective than increasing the income feeding that portfolio. The second element is disciplined saving. For Munger, saving was not about sacrifice, but about rational allocation of resources. Money that is not spent on unnecessary consumption becomes a tool that buys future freedom. Financial independence does not begin when your investments explode. It begins when your expenses stop growing faster than your income. Only after income and savings are under control does investing truly matter. Munger favored simple, understandable strategies held patiently over time. Complexity, in his view, was often a sign of confusion rather than intelligence. The goal is not to predict markets, but to remain invested long enough to benefit from long-term economic growth. In this framework, 3 years are not the finish line. They are the point where habits, capital, and mindset align. After that, progress becomes easier, decisions become calmer, and financial anxiety starts to fade. Munger warned that strategies promising fast results almost always hide risks that only appear later. Trading, leverage, and speculation do not accelerate freedom. They increase the chance of starting over. The power of Munger's philosophy lies in its simplicity. You do not need brilliance, insider knowledge, or perfect timing. You need skills, discipline, and patience. 3 years will not change everything, but they can change enough to make the rest of the journey far easier. And that is often all it takes to start becoming truly free.